the last thing on my list here is the Scott Pilgrim anime. That shit is awesome. I only told you a little bit about it, but let me just give my general thoughts.
Like, spoiler.
No spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it.
No, I'm spoiling it.
You don't know.
It's the only scene I've seen.
Did you see something?
I've seen 2 minutes of it that you showed me.
Oh, yeah.
You spoiled it for me. I'm spoiled it for them. Okay.
Well, it's at the end of episode 1 is what I spoiled it for you. But anyway, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a comic book originally? Or is it a video game? I know they made the video game after.
Video game comic book.
I think they made the video game. Well, whatever. I'll tell you my experience with Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the movie by Edgar Wright with Michael Cera, is a cult classic now. Like, I love that movie when it came out. I didn't watch it in theaters. I saw it on HBO. But like throughout the years, whenever I do, which is very rare, but whenever I do meet somebody that likes Scott Pilgrim, like they love it. Like if you watch this movie and like it, you love this movie. Because I only knew you that liked it because we watched it together, and that's one of those movies where you could put on any scene and you could just watch the rest of it. And then I met somebody that I worked with. Her name is Nancy. Shout out to Nancy if you're watching. She has a tattoo of Ramona Flowers. The picture where he's just like, hey, do you know a girl with hair like this? Yes, that's Ramona Flowers. She has that tatted on her. I was like, oh my God, that's so badass. So I say that because I just want to explain that this is like a cult classic. If you like it, you love it. If you don't like it, you probably never seen it. So that movie is incredible. And what they did is Edgar Wright is now the producer on this anime. They got the whole cast back from the movie. And they made an anime, and it's on Netflix. So I don't know if this is gonna work for people who I think it will. If you just like anime and you're just that looks cool. I mean,
it's the art style.
Yeah, it has a cool art style. It looks like a video game. The whole premise is that like
Lil Uzi's gonna pop out.
Yeah, Lil Uzi on his album. Which one is it? Lil Uzi or
first two?
It's versus the world though, right? Lil Uzi versus the world or something like that.
Yeah, I forget the first. Well, I want to say the first 2 or 3. It was like that art style. Like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He basically stole the.
It 100% is the Scott Pilgrim art style, which again, like that, like Lil Uzi likes Scott Pilgrim enough to put it as his art style for his album. Like he must love Scott Pilgrim, or at least the art style. Like if you like it, you love it. But anyway, I don't know how well or how much people are gonna like it if they haven't seen the original movie, because this show does a twist on it. If you really cared about this show, you'd probably already see it. If not, I don't think this is a huge spoiler.
I don't think a lot of people knew it was out.
Well, there's that.
Because that's another thing too, is that the writers, what was it? The writers' strike.
Oh,
it
right.
ended, and then all of a sudden, all this shit was.
Just not all of a sudden. It happened because the writers' strike ended. Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, they had all these freaking doom, doom, doom.
It was like 10 trailers.
Shrek, what else?
See, that would have been the episode last week if I didn't have COVID. We would have just watched all the trailers and just talk about them all.
Yeah, just all Jurassic Park.
But anyway, let me get back to this really quick. So I do think it'll work on its own. But what I'm saying is, I think for Scott Pilgrim fans, like of the movie, you would like this even more, because I think a lot of people did, because I started looking at some of the reaction on Twitter. I think a lot of fans expected that this was just going to be the movie again, but in anime form.
Yeah.
And the first episode happens, and it plays out just like the movie, exactly like it. And like, there's some lines that are different. And I was watching, I was just like, yeah, this is fine, but all it's doing is reminding me of the movie that I like more.
Yeah.
And then at the end of episode 1, there is a twist. I won't spoil that. There is a twist, and something happens, and then from there on out, it's a completely original story. And like we get Chris Evans as one of the X's, as the second X, for way longer than we do in the movie. And now, like, you get to see like some of the X's. I know this doesn't make sense to people who haven't watched it, but
I wonder why.
Some of the X's are now talking to each other for the first time, and I was just like, that's cool. Like, it feels like fan fiction.
Yeah.
But it is Edgar Wright, and it's the cast. Yeah, it's a new timeline, and I think they are playing with that. I won't spoil anything, but they are playing with that. Like,
you did spoil it.
No, I didn't, because you have no idea where this is going.
Well, if you don't want me to spoil it for them, then I can't really say why.
All right, well, we're gonna leave it at that.
If you've seen Doctor Strange, you know what's going on.
Everything is doing a multiverse right now. I've seen everything everywhere all at once.
You know how that Doctor Strange came and he died, and then the other Doctor Strange came.
Okay, yeah. No.
The movie Scott Pilgrim is gonna pop up
Maybe.
in cartoon form. He's gonna pop up.
Maybe.
That's Scott
all right,
Pilgrim.
so I'm only 5 episodes in, and I think there's 8.
So it's done.
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix, so you can
The
binge it
whole
all.
thing? Oh,
Binge it
okay.
all. So I
Netflix.
am going to catch up. The only reason why I'm not finished right now is because we're recording this podcast.
That's stupid, but I like that because it's like you get it done within a week, and then you're
or a day. Shit, you're pulling
Yeah.
rookie numbers.
Squid Games all over again, huh?